Dear Miss O, firstly, I'd like to say happy holidays to you, and I hope you're having a good one. These are the times that we are wishing and thankful for things that we have and are receiving. I'm thankful for so much, and I'd like to share them with you. There are things that I'd like to say to you, and there are things that I'd like to thank you about. I've learned a lot in the years that you have been my teacher. I've also learned a lot from my own life and the people that have been with me. You may have only been my teacher for elementary school, but I still feel like I need to say thanks to you for all the things you taught me. There are so many things that I've learned inside and outside your classroom, from how to behave in a space of learning to how to draw my first person, to how to do math. I've learned that there are many different types of ways that art can be expressed. And the way that I like to express my art is different than the way that everybody else likes to express their art. I've seen you draw, but not really because you're bad at it, but that's how you've learned to express your art. Maybe it's because we have an art included classroom, and from the moment that we were young, there were arts in the class. Maybe that's why I've wanted to be in the arts. They say that when you think of things like the arts, then they start to seem that way. You said that to me to help me with my math. If I could think of an equation like an art piece that I had to pick apart, then it would be easier. Speaking of things you taught me, the arts have made me a better person. When I come in each and every day, I'm ready to process, express, and my and other people's points of views. At first, I wasn't the smartest, but with the help of all my teachers, I got on the right track. Now I show up every day ready to learn and focused on what I have to do. And speaking of focus, I always thought it was weird having morning meditation, but after a while, I couldn't go on without it. I now know the difference between staying focused and being attentive, and one of them is being, and the other one is knowing. Remember that one time that we had morning meditation and Reese, who is the class clown, started making jokes, and he was laughing so hard that the rest of us started laughing at him. But you reminded us, attention is the beginning of devotion, you always say. And I think I know what it means. It means that when you look at something, read, or understand something, you can't just have your mind on one thing and do something else. Because it's important for you to be focused. For you to see the whole picture and to understand everything that's going on. That way, you'll be able to better put your mind into what's going on. You'll be able to see from other places, from other directions, what's happening, and you'll be more into what you're doing. At least that's what I think. Like when we had to focus on our breathing and the midterm project that you were preparing us for. Also, thanks for teaching us about great people. Maya Angelou, Maxine Green, Mary Oliver, and more, plus the Guerrilla Girls. I know now what it means to give others, especially women, their fair due. Now I know that we weren't in class to do we weren't in class to do much of anything but paint, but you also introduced us to sculpting and other forms of art. There are things I'd like to update you about. I got into that school that you wanted me to get into, and I started living on my own with the addition of some roommates. I've learned so much in the years of arts in school, and I have seen the arts do a lot to people. So basically, I'd like to say thank you and have a happy holidays. Hi, this is Chineo Benaya. Um, I chose to do option one of the options for our final. Um, I think what really attracted me to this was that, you know, when you get a nice little letter from a student, it always makes my day, or from a student's parent, that kind of stuff. It just, it was what I wanted from a student, or for a student to do, just leave me a letter. But my students are too young to be writing letters. So I wrote one in their stay. I used one of my students as the person who was writing the letter, and I aged them up a bit so that they're in elementary school, except right now they're in pre-K. Um, so I kind of put myself inside the student and kind of went through emotion of what do I want to hear, what do I want to teach, what do I want in my classroom, and put it together and kind of just added a few of the philosophies that I wanted to teach in my classroom, how I wanted to look back at my classroom and see all of the stuff. So, yeah. Thank you for that.